Hey guys, what's up? It's Alex here. Today we are here with my review of MXGP 2. Now this has been out for a few days now. It came out Friday last week. So I've had it for a few days. I've been playing a lot of career mode and, you know, obviously it's not a completely in-depth review because I haven't had, you know, like hundreds of hours of game time. But I've had enough game time to give my opinions, and I've also, instead of just literally just giving you my opinions, I'm gonna look at what other people are saying as well, so you can get sort of a more rounded picture. So yeah, you can see that the gameplay on screen right now, we're racing in MXGP 1. This is my first ever race on the MXGP 1 bikes. Obviously the faster bikes, maybe it's just MXGP, isn't it? Yeah, it's just MXGP. But yeah, they're much faster obviously, and I actually think they're a lot more fun. So yeah, we're racing around the Britain track as well. It's just one race we're doing in this review. But anyway, let's get to the review. As you can see, this is on PS4, so I guess it might slightly differ depending on what console you're on. But I'm not going to lie guys, this game is not that much different to the first game. Lots of people have left comments in the comment section obviously saying what is the difference between this game and the previous version, obviously, because the previous version was, in my opinion at least, a pretty decent game. It was quite fun and enjoyable, but to be perfectly honest, there isn't a huge amount different in this game. Obviously we've got a step up in the graphics, which is definitely a good thing. Obviously the graphics are, I'd say, vastly improved, but they're still not like amazing. They're better, but they're not like amazing. But overall, the game does feel pretty similar to the last game, and I've been looking at other reviews and other people's opinions on this game as well, and actually people are starting to say that this feels a bit of a step back from the last game in terms of physics and all that sort of stuff. So that, you know, for me, I can't feel much difference, but for people I'm sure that play the game a bit more, they feel that slight difference in the physics and everything, which that is disappointing if it is a step back in terms of that. I mean, I don't play on the realistic settings. I'm not good enough to play on the realistic settings just yet. Maybe one day, maybe when I get a bit better at the game, I'll change it up to realistic settings. But overall, I've got to say that it's fun, but it's not that much different to the last game, which I suppose it could be understandable. Obviously Milestone aren't exactly the biggest company, and if you look at some of their other series, for example, like, I mean, WRC when they were making that, and also MotoGP when they make that as well, from year to year the games aren't that different. They're not a massive improvement like you could say F1 games are by Codemasters, but I'm sure some will disagree. I'm sure most will disagree, but yeah, so there's not massive improvements and not massive steps up from, you know, year to year. Like, for example, I could say something like Forza, which has massive improvements each year, but also, or not each year, but each game has massive improvements, but then it has a much bigger company and much more money to rely on. So that's something I've also noticed, not the massive step I'd expected, but something I have noticed, which I think I should note because it gets annoying for me at least. I mean, I know I'm not a very good rider on this game, obviously. I've only just got it and I need to get back into using it and everything, but I do find it resets you far too quickly. Say you go off the track for like a nanosecond, you're already being reset, and I know some people find that funny to watch my gameplay. At least maybe that is funny for some people, but for me, when I'm playing it, I get frustrated. It's like I've only just been off the track like a millisecond and you've already reset me. You haven't given me a chance to sort of, you know, make my mistake and then get on with it. I mean, honestly, I feel there should be an option at least to turn off that. It's sort of like an automatic flashback, really, that it resets you as quickly as possible. I mean, okay, it might be best for the race, but it doesn't make me learn from my mistakes, really. Like this thing here, that was a little bit silly, but I reckon I could have got that, just about landed. I mean, I would have lost a lot of time, but I reckon I could have landed that. But something for me at least that is a bit frustrating, the constant resetting. I mean, obviously if you're a better rider you won't get a reset because you're not making the mistakes, but yeah, so other people also looking at the game as well. People are liking the fact it's got a few new modes as well. I haven't actually had a chance to have a look at them yet. I mean, I have been quite busy, but most of my free time has been spent playing the game, but mostly career mode. But a few new game modes, which is good, obviously, when a new game comes out, which is probably pretty similar to the last one. A few new game modes does really help out, like, I think like Championship Challenge or Challenge Edition or something in F1 games, for example. But it's really tough to get around the fact that this game, you know, you could put them side by side, and, you know, with the last game, for example, and it's hardly any different, and it's kind of hard to take, especially when you spend, I mean, a lot of money on a game. That's, obviously a lot of people buy, you know, 1 or 2 games a year, but when you do YouTube and when you make YouTube videos, you end up, you know, paying for at least like 10-15 games a year. And that sounds crazy, but you end up paying that because you want to just make sure you make good videos and make different videos. So when you end up buying a game which is so similar to the last one, it's disappointing. And even though I am going to keep playing, I do like this game. I do like this game, and the main thing for me with a game when it first comes out, it's got to be enjoyable, and this game is enjoyable. But I think it's the fact that, you know, it gets to a certain point, and you're just like, I could well have been just playing the last game because it's pretty similar. And if you're just going to be sticking to the career mode, obviously, that's going to be pretty similar. I mean, you're obviously going to work your way up from MX2 up to MXGP. It's not going to be too great. I mean, I don't know. It's all personal opinion at the end of the day, but I definitely would advise anyone that's thinking about getting this right away, you know, if you haven't bought it just yet, maybe just give it a few weeks. I mean, I think this game is going to come down in price personally quite quickly. The fact that I don't think the sales figures are going to be too great for this game. I could be proven wrong, but I don't think this game is going to be a blast straight away in terms of sales. So if you really want this game, honestly, you know, you could save half the price just with it, by waiting a couple of weeks. And you know, maybe by then we'll get some new game modes or something added into the game, so it'll all be a lot better for you. So in my opinion, this is a fun game, and at the end of the day, it needs to be enjoyable, and it is. But the fact that it is so similar to the last game, and you know, everything does just feel like it's ripped straight from the last game. I know lots of little features will have changed, but for me at least, it just feels so similar, and it's really kind of hard to deal with that, especially when if you splash out, I don't know how much I paid now, probably £45 for this game. I mean, it's got to have some sort of improvement. At the moment, it doesn't feel too great. But I'm hoping, fingers crossed at least, that the patches that hopefully will come in the future will make this game a lot better. Let's hope so at least. But at the moment, I'm still giving it a good mark out of 10. I mean, I'm still going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. It is obviously similar to the last game, but I've got to say it's enjoyable, and you need to have you need to enjoy a game at the end of the day, and I am enjoying it at the moment. But 6.5 out of 10, probably one of the lowest marks I've ever actually given to a game in our first initial release. But I want to be honest with you guys, I don't think you should be buying this game straight away. Definitely give it a couple of weeks. Maybe even if you want to, you could enter this giveaway that I'm doing on this channel. So that'll be linked down below in the description. If you want to win a copy of MXGP 2, you can do that by just entering, by leaving a comment on my first career mode video, I should say. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully it's been somewhat helpful. It's been Alex Mad here. Goodbye.